live.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing? Great. I'd like to thank those that are watching us on YouTube. My name is Dwayne Fabian. I'm the chair of the Clayton County Board of Trustees for the library system. And at this time, we're going to go ahead and get started. So we'll be cognizant of everybody's time. And with that, we'll have our prayer. Our minister is on the way. He's stuck in traffic, so we're going to bypass that and connect to them upon his arrival. Madam Secretary, can you do the roll call, please?
Yes, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I will call your names, and if you can indicate present if you're here. Dwayne Fabian,
Present.
Herman Andrews, Siobhan present, Salima Ebony Miller, Lauren Payne, Brenda Gutierrez, present, Mia Ballinger, present, Trina Cole, Quinn Lee, present, and Sherry Gates.
Present.
Madam Secretary, let me make one correction. Ms. Kim is trustee of your.
I'm not seeing anyone on the phone.
Trustee of your advisor, that she would be online. Of course, if she does come online, she'll be able to go. So therefore, having said that, we have a forum.
Also, we do not have quorum.
So therefore, we can't vote on any outstanding issue at this time.
Okay.
Moving right along on the agenda. We can't have the approval of the agenda because we don't have the voting body to give a date on it. So therefore, we'll skip over the approval of the minutes. Same thing. We go into public comments. Do we have any time for public comments?
No, sir, we do not have any public comments.
This is going to be a short meeting tonight. Okay, we move right along to the director's report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everybody? Seems like I haven't seen you all in so long. It's been a while. But nevertheless, glad to see you all. Thank you all coming out. Want to give a shout out, of course, to the staff of the Clayton County Library System for what they do day in and day out. As you probably are very well aware, every year around September, we have an annual report that's due to the state library. So again, I want to give a shout out to the staff that worked very hard on compiling all the data that was necessary so that we could get that report in and get it in on time and be successful with that. So a few things, a few updates for this past month. Coffee with the librarian. I'll go ahead and start off there.
Okay.
We had a fantastic guest in the house, Miss Randy Fabian, yes, from Boat Riders, was in the house and had an opportunity to speak with her about this upcoming voting cycle, voter registration, the new voting laws that have been changed, a whole bunch of resources that were available to folks if they were unsure where they could go to get registered. A lot of folks we find don't have ID cards. And so Boat Riders was providing resources on how to get the ID. If you didn't have a birth certificate, they were providing resources on how to get your birth certificate and actually paying for a lot of these services. So it was a very, very enriching conversation there. Thank you. So, something else I would like to mention is that we don't have any new MOUs coming up, but we have an MOU renewal. So one of our former board of trustee members has an organization called Melanated Pearl, and you may be aware they provided hygiene kits for all the library branches. And so that MOU expired, and so we're in the process of renewing the MOU so that we can obtain more hygiene kits for our citizens. So we're very excited about that. Everyone should be aware that 14th, next Monday, is our staff development day. So very, very excited about that. It will be a pretty much full day of training and activities and some fun wrapped in there. And if anyone was at the retreat, we do business, but we also like to have some fun with it and cemetery. So we're looking forward to that very much. So, in addition to that, I'm not sure if I had mentioned that. Well, let me give some context for this next bullet point. So, county leadership is undergoing what's called a culture shift. So, from the board commissioners on down to the C-suite, COO, deputy COO, we are undergoing a shift. And part of that shift is to have department heads or department leadership into groups or pods that they call culture pods. And so all of the different department heads are subdivided into different groups. And the impetus behind this is that for far too long, a lot of departments work in silos. You do your thing over there, you do your thing over there, and there's no intersectionality or no crossing over. So it provided a lot of misinformation, misinterpretation of a lot of things. And so with the smaller subgroups or culture pods, what they're called, we're undergoing leadership training, a lot of development as far as leaders, bonding, getting to know one another. And again, if you know your colleague, you're less likely to throw them under the bus. You're more apt or more prone to just pick up the phone and call them if there are issues. And so it's been really, I'll say, successful. The pod that I'm associated with, I was named leader of that particular pod. And we had to put on each pod is responsible for leading a leadership meeting. And so last month, my pod, we put on a leadership training on team building. And so we went through a presentation on team building and the activity that we did for the retreat, the cup stacking. We did the same kind of activity, and they had a wonderful time in that great meeting. So I did want to mention that. You'll probably hear more about the culture pod and the culture shift as we move forward. Board training we have coming up Saturday, 10 a.m., 10 to 12 at Forest Park Library Branch. For those of you who make it, it will be a great opportunity to hear from one of the assistant state librarians to again talk about the roles that you play as far as the board of trustees, this organization, and the delineation between your roles, responsibilities, and what mine are. So it's a very good training. So if you're available, please.
The destination is on your left.
And one of the last bullet points, well, I won't say last. Tomorrow, I will be, once again, out of the office. I will be attending a library and journal design institute in Cincinnati for a couple of days. I'm not sure, you may recall last summer, the summer before, was at Harvard for another library design institute. So we are supposed to, we've been in talks with the county of having possibly 2 new library branches coming online over the next several years. So definitely want to be involved on the design phase of those libraries from start to finish. So that's all of the highlights that I want to provide. Are there any questions on anything?
Sorry, the training on the 12th, you said it'll be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.?
Yes,
Okay.
at Forest Park. Yes. And we will ask Ben Carter, who is providing the training, if he wouldn't mind that we record the training. So if there are board members who are unavailable or can't make Saturday, that we can have the recording and we can show it at a future time.
Yes, Mr. Director, I just want to go back to the last coffee with the librarian with Ms. Randy Fagan.
Yes.
Outstanding presentation that she put on. One thing that I find unique that when we talk about voting, we ask every citizen who was able to vote to go register to vote. But the key point was that not all the IDs are accepted. But speaking about the digital ID that the state of Georgia has provided via the mobile device, I think that once they work out the kinks with that, that should be something that should be implemented, hopefully under her tutelage and her company, that they're able to use the digital ID to register to vote. Right. Because not everyone carries any ID on them these days. Sure. And they can easily, especially our millennials and our Gen Xers, they are big straight to the mobile device, and present that to go vote. But I thought that was a very unique thing that that they can go vote, but you could not use that piece of device in order to register to vote and to vote on the day of voting. The second thing is that you spoke about the retreat. I'm still living that in my head. I have not released that yet.
Did you have a good time?
Oh, I enjoyed myself.
Good. That's all.
Well, see, we can't do that one time. We got to do that more than one time. It's just like going to church on Sunday on Holy Communion once a month. Once a month, but no, that was very, very great that you had put on, and I do enjoy the pod, and I really wish that we can get those pods, because I want to be the first one to test it out. I'm the co-pilot on that.
Gotcha. We'll keep you posted on that.
Well, thank you, that's all I have.
Any other questions, comments? Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to back up on our agenda to our prayer. I've asked a dedicated young man, pastor, father, great co-worker that I've worked side by side with for a few years. And he has taken out time to come out of the great city of White, Georgia, north of Atlanta, to come way down here to Clayton County to support me in our board meeting. And so I know that he came a great distance in traffic. He sent me a text and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be about 6:15." So I was like, you know what? I'll get started. And when 6:15 get, you just come on in and reformat the meeting and have you come up. And so I sent him another text. And so I said, well, if you have First Lady with you, make sure that she comes so she can take a photo with us and a photo of you as well. She replied back, I'm the one that's texting and driving, not him. So with no further ado, I'd like to ask Pastor Jude to come on up and give us a word of prayer. And he's a lieutenant with the Motor Carrier Compliance Division, of the Georgia Department of Public Safety, 30-year veteran. Man knows what he's doing.
It's an honor. Good evening. It's an honor to be here. I am very grateful for Mr. Fabian to ask me to come and to get the invitation tonight. We're in some trying times, as you know, and those of us who love the Lord, we have to keep pressing, no matter what happens. I'm not here to talk about me, but I thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir.
Let us pray. Oh, gracious Heavenly Father, we honor you today. We thank you for the opportunity to congregate and to discuss the businesses that you have placed in our care. I pray, oh God, for each and every leader in this room, every person who is a part of this board. Lord, I pray in the name of Jesus that you would strengthen them, encourage them, teach them. Help them, God, to stand in the place that you've called them to be. Allow them, God, to be strong in what you have given them to do. We know that there are going to be times when opposition arises. But you said that we should fear not because you're always with us. So, Lord, I pray for each and every man and woman in this room. I pray, oh God, that you will cover them. Give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as they go forth and do the work that you've called them to do. I pray for their families. I pray, God, that you will put a hedge of protection around them, that you will keep them in your care, that every step that they make, that you will go with them along the way. You said in your word, in the book of Psalms, that even though sometimes we're in the valley of the shadow of death, you ask us to fear no evil because you are with us. And so we glorify you today. I thank you for the opportunity, God, to come and stand and represent you in this humble prayer tonight. I pray, oh God, that as they continue to be used and to be a part of this great community, that you will lead them and guide them in the way that they should go. We thank you and we honor you tonight, and we bless your holy name. Father, I pray that every business venture that they come up against, God, that you will be with them. Furthermore, God, that you will go before them and make every crooked path straight. Thank you for the job that they're doing, and I pray, God, that you will bless them in every way. I ask this prayer in the mighty name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Pastor, let's take this picture right quick here, and you have to stay with us. You want to be here for a few minutes. Come on, trustee. Come on.
Okay. If you don't mind.
Since you got on over the license.
One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two.
Right, hang on. Come on, First Lady. This is his wife. This is First Lady Andrea Jewell. Come right by the man in charge of you.
Chairman Clayton, can you fill our roll title, please? One, two. All right. One, two. Got it. Last.
I'm so scared.
Okay, I'd like to thank Pastor Jewell and his significant other, First Lady Jewell, for coming in and giving us that dynamic prayer. And as I always say, prayer changes things, but we need prayer, especially in today's society in which we live in. Moving right along, we have our vice chair to walk in with us, so now we have, Madam Chair, do we have a quorum?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'd like to go back to the beginning of our agenda meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
I have a first and I have a second. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from last month. Is there a motion? I hear their motion now. Is there a second?
A second.
We have 2 seconds on that motion. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. I'd like to also go back to our public comment. Before I say about the public comment, I'd like to welcome our distinguished city councilman, Alfred Dixon, from the city of Jonesboro with us. Councilman Dixon, did you sign for public comment?
I did not sign a public comment, but I did have some.
Well, come on up, please, come on. Yes, sir.
this action. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How you all doing today?
Good.
Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Appreciate you. I'm actually here in regards to, well, on behalf of Mr. Christopher Williams. He may be walking in the door right now. He had went to the bathroom location, but it's in regards to his thoughts in regards to the convenience within the libraries. So this is just an email that I received from. Thank you for meeting with me yesterday regarding having vending machines in the library, possible other areas, park, city centers, etc. Where community can take advantage. I believe the convenience this would add to the people of the area and at no cost to the city or county will make this a win-win for all parties involved. So I just wanted to share that on his behalf. Like I said, he should be walking in shortly. If you have any questions for me, I would love to take them down. And once again, he should be walking in just to see.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you. Okay, now we lead back over to our Deputy Director's report.
Good evening, Board of Trustees.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Sherry Stanley, Deputy Director for the Clayton County Library System, and I just want to kind of go over the activities that our branches have been involved in within last month of September. CCLS participated in 12 outreach events. We had a total of 890 participants. Our adult program department, we conducted 102 programs with 1,085 patrons participating. And then our youth services department, we conducted 107 programs with 2,315 participants. As you know, September was National Library Card Sign-Up Month. And in this month, we joined together in recognizing the importance of library cards and raising awareness of the benefits of having one. Now, Library Card Sign-Up Month was for September, but we promote getting a library throughout the year. Because if you know all of the resources, everything that you can take advantage with your library card, you would want one. And so we always have that for September, but we promote that throughout. On September 17, 2024, Chairman Jeffrey Turner read a proclamation for a National Library Card Sign-Up Month. And this was at the Board of Commissioners meeting. And also, we celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month. During National Hispanic Heritage Month, the Clayton County Library System actively participated in various programs and initiatives to promote literacy and cultural diversity. These activities aim to engage the community, encouraging reading, recognizing the rich history and heritage and contributions of the Hispanic and Latino Americans. And so we want to thank our own Board of Trustees member, Ms. Brenda Gutierrez. She has participated in a couple of story times, and she's participating this week, next week, and the next week.
All right.
And also Councilman Gutierrez, we want to thank him as well for participating. Job fair, as you know, workforce development, we really believe in, this is one of our strategic goals. And the Goodwill of North Georgia collaborated with the Clayton County Library System to host a job fair at the headquarters library on September 25th. And during the job fair, we had 153 participants were interviewed on the spot. Waffle House is a partner of Goodwill, and they provided waffles, so breakfast to all of you. So that was very nice. Thank you so much to Goodwill of North Georgia, Waffle House, because this is the way the job fair is set up. You can go and they have Amazon, they have hotels. So if you work at the airport, they have local businesses. And so they have about 30 businesses there, even Amazon. And so you go, you come, we have job readiness courses. You come here, you learn how to create a resume, also how to dress for success, how to interview, those interviewing skills. And so they get a chance to put it to practice at the Goodwill job fairs. And so they can hire you on the spot. And so please look out for the Goodwill job fairs. We have them posted it online. It has been such a big success because we do feel passionate about making sure that everyone has the proper readiness training, but connecting you with the job that's appropriate for you. And also, Goodwill hosted a lunch and learn training session in collaboration with the Clayton County Library System, but it was here at the Northwest Branch. So this session provided participants with the opportunity to engage in one-on-one conversations with the presenters in order to ask questions to future employment opportunities. So thank you so much again for Goodwill of North Georgia. Also, I have a highlight. We call it LAB, but it's our Library Ambassador Board. They came before and they presented a presentation going into the communities, the activities, and so the induction ceremony will be on October 18th at 4:30 at the Morrow Branch. So please come out. This is our Teen Advisory Board. And so these are our teams that guide us as to what type of activities teens would like to see, also what events they would want to be involved in participating in. So please mark your calendars for that. So that's going to be 4:30 at the Morrow Branch, October 18th. And also, I do want to give building and maintenance a kudos because they have really worked hard to make sure that our facilities remain updated, remain in good condition. We made 23 work orders, and 18 of those work orders have been resolved already. So thank you so much to the building and maintenance department. Any questions or comments from our board?
Yeah, I just have one question. With the Waffle House, was that scattered, covered, and put
Well, they provided waffles.
Oh, nothing scattered and covered. Okay. Okay.
But had the building smelling good.
Exactly.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Okay, let's go on to the next item on the agenda, which will be the financial report.
Hello, once again. Any questions on the financial report? A couple of highlights or just things I'd like to mention very briefly. The Riverdale branch and the admin travel and training budget, you may see those accounts were in red and we were over on those accounts, so we transferred monies over to bring that back up. But I think this year, more than years in the past, we are really encouraging staff to attend conferences, to get out there and be involved. Whether it's online training, in-person training, we're really pushing. And so unfortunately, the travel and training budget this year wasn't as robust as it was last year. And so we kind of run through those accounts, but next year we will be petitioning for additional funds. I think it's very important that they get out there. They see what's going on in the library profession, be active in the profession, join committees, things of that nature. So, yes, that's it that I wanted to mention for those two line items. But everything else, we're on track and spending, no issues or any other areas. Yes, sir.
Well, I first want to apologize to the board for being tardy. The population in Clayton County is growing and everybody. But you may have already addressed this, but also at that board meeting, we received funding from the library.
Live
library-
funds or?
No, it's the library foundation. Yes, I believe it was the library foundation, wasn't it?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, all right.
We did receive monies, well, let me back up. We have asked the state library through their major renovations and repairs department to apply for funding for repairs. And we had to go before the board of commissioners to ask, because there's a match that the county has to put up. The state puts up money and the county has a 50-50 match for that. So we were approved through the board of commissioners for that matching fund, so for those matching funds.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And that was, I think, a total of more than $300,000 for repairs and renovations. So,
Thank you.
any additional questions?
Okay, hearing no questions, can I get an approval for the financial report, please?
Make a motion that we approve the financial report.
It's been approved, and a motion was taken by Vice Chair Andrews. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Secretary Fleming. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Secretary, we are at our committee reports.
Okay, so I will call on our ladies of the advocacy committee to share anything that they have at this time.
Well, I know the branch, I'm sorry, go ahead. The branch in, right there, Battle Creek, it's good, they have good customer service. I mean, I went in finally, I go to that one more frequently because it's closer by where I stay. And also, it is awesome, so everything was clean, neat, but I'm going to venture out more, comes to different libraries, and a lot of people I found out didn't know that copies are only 10 cents. You know, even I didn't know for the black and white copies, so trying to get the word out there, bring people in, and it was good. Like, seriously, Office Depot, I'm sorry to put them out there, but it's like 65, 75 cents, so people are amazed. There's a lot of things that people do not know that the resources are here, so.
I will say I've been attending the Needle of the Art. That's very interesting. The lady who is in charge of it or teaching us how to sew with or without a machine is really good. So yeah, thank you for hosting events like that. It's very relaxing after a long day of work. And also, good job on, I wasn't there at the moment because I also work, but for the Hispanic Heritage Fund celebration in Forest Park, you guys were tabling out there, and I heard great things about the library, so it's always proud to hear about, you know, the library and what we're doing here, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I'd like to add as well, I got 20 copies I was able to print from using the Smart Aleck, not Smart Aleck, but Smart Aleck system from our residents. My sister needed me to print some items for her, and of course, good old baby brother ran out of paper, ran out of ink or toner. And he's like, how can I get this thing printed out? Well, no, the library, so I'm gonna use this thing. And so therefore, I got it set up on my computer, and I called over and spoke with one of the staff members here, and she told me what I needed to do, and I got it loaded up and came over, and everything was right there on the system. So that was very unique. So I'm gonna start using that in written one and keep my ink in my paper. You know, so Director Plum, I think that you're doing a magnificent job with the only use infrastructure, because it's all the material that you're buying, the concrete and all that. You're doing a great job, because without that, I would have been, I won't say the letters, but you know what I mean. I would have been up there, the creek without a paddle, I'll put it that way. Because I did not have the tools to assist her, because she didn't have it. So, you know, we're talking about somebody that's, you know, well over 65 years old, and technology is not her friend. It's not really my friend, but I'm gearing myself to learn a majority of the stuff that you're doing a very good job with these different technology things that not only for the citizens, but for the board members as well. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I have a question while we finish.
No, go ahead, Vice Chair.
Do we know how many libraries do we have that are connected to a trail? I know the headquarters, and I think, well, over there in Lovejoy area, that's a big old park. I guess I wanted to know, do we have a strong partnership with Parks and Rec in the development of connecting the community to the library through the trail?
Very good question. And I'm not sure outside of Battle Creek location, how many actually are adjacent to a trail, but I can find out. As you mentioned, Lovejoy is the only other one that kind of comes to
I'm gonna
mind.
add to the task list, I was just curious.
So you said. But the new director of Parks and Recreation, yes, we've got a very good working relationship. She's a member of my culture club. And so we have been talking about different ways to collaborate, so I can find out and get back to you all. And there is opportunity to expand, not just the relationship between the library branches and the trails, but other program areas that make sense for both departments.
Did you say Lovejoy has a trail?
I don't know if they do or not, but with the rec center being in that area,
The attached.
the high school over there, again, I'm not sure, but I can find out.
Because I didn't recall seeing it last time I was down there.
Same here, but there may, I haven't, again, ventured out and walked the entire area.
Right.
That's closest to me, and I believe, like you're saying, in conjunction with the rec center, the ability to walk, but not a separate one directly for the library, to my understanding as well.
Madam Secretary?
So, if that's everyone that has, comments or reporting on advocacy, we'll move right along to our bylaws committee, please. And may I hand it over to you, Ms. Sherry? I know, Celine was not here at the time. Did you want to lead in the bylaws or?
Sure.
Or should I?
Um,
I'll follow you.
Oh, that's okay. We have some copies that we can go ahead and pass out to all board members.
I believe just Mr. Andrews, excuse me. Thank you. I think everyone else has a copy, is that correct? Okay.
And I'll go ahead and fill in if you don't mind.
Okay, yes, sir.
The last time the board voted and approved the bylaws, I think which was back in May. It seems so long ago, but
Seems like I just finished.
and actually we kind of did. But in looking at the bylaws and as part of our annual report, we also have to submit the bylaws to the state. And when we submitted it to the state, they said, I see a couple of irregularities, do you want to take a look at it? And so looking at it a little more closely, we recognized that there was some numbering issues and the numbering system was off. And so in your packet, it should have all of the affected areas highlighted in yellow. And I'm speaking strictly of the numbering system at this point.
Okay.
So once we get to page 6, Article 3, there were duplicate Article 3s. And so go from Article 3, now page 6, it should be Article 4, and then the numbering on after that for each particular article, all the way up to, I think it's 9. So those corrections need to be made, voted on, and approved. And then there's another section that was added regarding public comments. We did not have guidelines and/or in the bylaws language that specifically addressed public comments during board meetings. Much like board of commission meetings where the clerk reads the guidelines for public comments, I thought it was prudent that this board also have language written in the bylaws that addresses that. We're very well aware of the climate now with book bans, with book challenges, with citizens coming to meetings such as this and using it as a forum to advance their positions, whatever it may be. But I think for public comments, we all need to have a uniform policy in place that addresses the time limit, the manner in which folks are addressing the board, and any other guidelines around that. So what's highlighted on page 8 is a paragraph which speaks to that. And so let me read it briefly. Citizens will be given a 3-minute time limit for public comments. All comments should be limited to topics relevant to library operations or policies and should not solicit or promote products or services. Speakers must maintain decorous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks upon board members or library personnel. Shouting or using obscene language will not be permitted. Following 15 minutes of public comments, the Board of Trustees will allow the remainder of the citizens who have signed up to be heard at the next scheduled Board of Trustee meeting. Are there any questions regarding that new language to be added to the bylaws? Yes.
Will we make use of like a timer?
Yes, yes, we will definitely have a time. Any additional questions?
Okay. Hearing the changes according to the bylaws, I need to have a motion to approve this particular change. Is there a motion?
Just a public comment, right?
I think all this highlighted.
Everything is highlighted, yeah.
Okay.
And I forgot, or I omitted on page 1, the zip code was inactive, so that's highlighted also.
I'm open to approve.
Okay, there's been a motion from trustee Ballinger. Is there a second? Second by trustee Lee. All in favor say, well, are there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Madam Secretary?
Okay, so we can move on to this unfinished business. We did just discuss the numbering, but we would, and also public comments, which is C. We have a few things that we would like to add on, including but not limited to the quorum. And there was a few other subject matters that we'll also discuss at this time. And so, would you like to, lead with that?
Yes.
Okay.
The Board of Trustees executive officers would like to make sure that we have the correct number for quorum. According to Robert's Rules of Order, it is stated that 2/3 of the voting body makes a quorum. So we want to investigate that just to make sure we have the correct number. If a Board of Trustees member cannot attend a meeting, please notify the executive officers within 24 hours before. Then if you become a Board of Trustees member, it is the expectation that that individual will sign up for a committee and actively participate. And then the last one, Board of Trustees members cannot self-promote or campaign, not on the grounds at all.
Any questions? Yes.
Not a question, just I guess a suggestion, recommendation. I understand the 24-hour notice, but in the event something happened, within that 24 hours, I would just, ask that we just, as soon as we are aware that we will not be able to attend, still let the executive team know.
Okay, that's fine. Any other comments on that? Okay. Okay, Madam Secretary?
So we will, move those for the next meeting, for once the revisions are made to the bylaws, to revisit for approval and voting. Okay, so our new business, we'll go ahead and discuss, review DOT terms and expirations. Would you like to? Okay. So we have Ms. Gutierrez, whose term is coming up, but she will remain on. So we have already submitted to our BOC for her to remain with us. So we are excited to renew her term. We also have Ms. Miller, whose term is coming up for renewal, and she has opted not to move forward with renewal. But I'm excited to say that the young lady that we have invited to step in her place in November is here with us today. So we can all wave at Ms. Paris Taylor. So we'll be submitting her transition to the BOC, and if all goes as planned, we will be moving forward with that transition in November. We don't have any new expirations until, I want to say, the top of 2025. So we'll make sure that we keep an eye on that and give each person the courtesy on how they'd like to move forward and go from there, okay?
So you're telling me that Ms. Paris Taylor, that's going to be a rookie training? Is that going to be a rookie training? Gotcha.
She's got a great mentor.
Gotcha.
Question,
Yes.
we all aware of our terms? Sometimes I forget, but it's posted somewhere, when our terms are.
I have all the terms.
Uh,
Okay, it's in the
Yeah,
email.
yeah. So as we get close, we'll be, approached to determine if we want to,
60 days out.
okay.
Each board member is appointed for a 3-year term with the option to be renewed for an additional 3 years.
Then you have to sit out after that 6 year, you have to sit out
A term.
a term. And if you want to come back.
Terms for years.
Yes. Any questions? All right. Oh, we're on good time today. We're on my time. All right, well, we are at the end of our agenda. Is there any need for executive session? All right, well, hearing none, make a motion that we adjourn our board of trustees meeting. Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, I don't know if he was talking about the vending machines or. That was kind of, I really wanted to hear if you had to say something, I'm sorry. I'm out of line, but I was-
Well, I'm going to invite him back to our next
Okay,
meeting.
next week, okay, I'm sorry.
All right, it was moved by trustee Gates to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay, Ms. Long, guided by our Secretary Clement, the second out. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, it's likewise, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
It's not a party time.
Until you go.
But I'm so sorry.